welcome back to How to Make It with Lily Christmas Edition. Today I will be sharing with you how to make dessert ornaments using Dollar Tree products. To make these products, we're going to be needing some of Dollar Tree's disposable icing bags that they have just brought in this year. We're also going to be needing the durable patty paper squares. You can also buy regular parchment paper. This one just makes it all the easier for you to work with. And then you're going to be needing a cake spatula along with cake decorating tips. All these products I found at the kitchen aisle, and they are brand new products this year. I was so ecstatic to see that Dollar Tree is in fact bringing in more and more cake decorating items, because I am a self-taught baker and all these products I can use on a daily basis. Moving along, we're going to be needing one package of the foam balls, 2 of the foam squares, some paint. You're going to need the black, brown, and white. The ones that I had on hand are from Walmart, but you can use the ones from Dollar Tree. You're going to be needing one package of mini cupcake liners, Model Magic drying clay in red. We're also going to be needing a paper plate with a toothpick, some caulk, a brush, cake decorating tool set, scissors, and your glue gun. First step is to take one of the cake decorating bags, cut the tip wide enough to fit the cake decorating star tip, and fill the bag with the caulk. I'm going to start off with these pink and teal colored cupcake liners that I got from Hobby Lobby. I already had this package open, so I'm just going to start off with this before I move on to the Dollar Tree package. But they were having a 40% off kind of a deal with most everything in the store, and I also picked up some miniature tree decorative options that I'm going to be using for various projects coming up. These are completely optional. I just chose to buy them because they were 40% off and it was such a steal, especially for the bang that you get for your buck. These gumdrop ornaments were so stinking cute, I had to pick some up, and I do feel all of these little miniature ornaments will contribute to elevate the overall look of the projects that we're going to be doing to another level. So for our first project, I'm going to show you how to make decorative cupcake ornaments. What you want to do is take some of the caulk that you have in the piping bag and pipe it onto the styrofoam ball, and then you're going to press that ball into the cupcake liner. Now if you have some extra styrofoam at home, or if you bought an extra square from Dollar Tree, this is where it's going to make it handy, because if you stick a toothpick on there and then put the cupcake liner with the foam ball in, it's going to give us a lot of support while we're piping the cupcake icing on there. So this is just going to make it all the easier. So with your star tip, you're going to just press and pipe around into a swirl, working your way up the foam ball into a nice little tip. Here you have the option of leaving it as is, where you don't have to put a string on the top of the ornament, and you can use it on the tier tray, or you can use a string and put it on top of the cupcake before it dries up and make it into an ornament. Now, because I already picked up these gumdrop ornaments from Hobby Lobby, they already have the string on them. I'm just going to place that on top and slightly press it in so that it dries up that way. If you do not have these ornaments on hand, you can just use some twine or some string. Ribbon is also a good option and make it into an ornament. Additionally, I'm going to be decking this cupcake out with some of the miniature toys that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And if you want to, you can actually do some of the confetti tubes from Dollar Tree here, or glitter, anything that you like, just to give it a little bit more of a design. So here I'm placing some of the confetti tubes that I have from the Dollar Tree section. I have them in pink, white, green, blue, purple, you name it, whatever they had as a selection, I pretty much grabbed, because I wanted to give myself a good variety of options to do for the design. And within minutes, you have yourself a gorgeous miniature cupcake ornament. How easy was that? Now for this one, I will be using all Dollar Tree products with the red miniature cupcake liner. Same process exactly, and I will be decking this one out with all of the Dollar Tree glittery, sparkly products that I picked up at the craft section. In my little tray selection, I have some of the confetti tubes, glitter, as well as vase fillers we have over here, which make a great selection because they come in different sizes to choose from. I'm going to be choosing the smallest vase fillers in there, and I will be topping off the cupcake with those. Once you're finished decorating them, set them to the side and let them dry for a couple of days. Now you have the option of leaving your cupcakes as they are, as ornaments, or we're going to level up. We're going to create like a bakery dome around the cupcake using one of these Dollar Tree ornaments. This particular ornament looks like an upside down bottle. I have no idea what else to call it, but yeah, I'm going to take one of those and then glue the bottom of the cupcake to the inside of the lid so it's facing up, and you want to put some faux snow in there. After you're done, screw the lid back on and place some ribbon onto the edge of the lid. You can also choose to spray paint the lid. Just go ahead and do the color that's going to coordinate with the cupcake. Once I have finalized my decision on the ribbon, I'm going to hot glue it in place. Now we're going to add additional detail to the dome by giving it a frosty faux snow effect. And for that, we're going to need some Mod Podge and a sponge brush. And what you want to do is just dab it onto the very top and some of the sides of the dome. Working quickly before the Mod Podge dries up, you want to take some of the faux snow and put it onto the very top and sides of the dome. Press it in with your hands to make sure that it could stick on there. Now I'm going to decorate the top of the dome using some of the confetti tubes and the vase fillers again. Top it off with a bow and you have a very high-end ornament. I absolutely love how these came out. They are so stinking cute. The miniature cupcakes and the truffles together look awesome, especially on a tiered tray. And the one with the dome is so elegant and classic looking. You can't even tell that was a handmade Dollar Tree item. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make chocolate truffles out of styrofoam, and you can use this as an ornament or use it for your tier tray. For this, we're going to prop up the styrofoam ball on the toothpick and then put that on another styrofoam so that it makes it easier for us to paint it. Then with your paint of choice, you're just going to go in with the brush and start painting it, and make sure you do a dabbing motion so that you can get all the crevices within the styrofoam. Once it has been fully painted, set it aside to dry. To give it additional detail, I'm going in with some caulk and I'm going to pipe on a design on the top of the truffle, kind of like a drizzle effect. Once it has fully dried, glue it onto a miniature cupcake liner and you have yourself a truffle ornament. These also came out so adorable. I made several colors and different variations of them just to have it on hand. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make cake pop ornaments. I got inspired by some of the ones that I had seen at Hobby Lobby and thought we can definitely do this using Dollar Tree items. This project, you're going to need an ornament of your choice of color, also paper straws, caulk, piping bag with any tip, a spatula, faux snow, confetti tubes, glitter, whatever you like. Vase fillers will also help, and a glue gun. I'm going to take one of the straws and put it to the bottom of the ornament to measure and see how long I would like the stick to be. Once I have decided on the length, I'm going to simply cut it at my marked area. Then take your glue gun and put some of the glue on the bottom of the ornament to attach the straw to the bottom. Make sure when you are attaching the straw, it is straight and centered. Next, we're going to go ahead and take the piping bag along with the caulk and press some of that out onto the ornament. We're going to create kind of like a frosting design on the ornament. Now comes the fun part of decorating our ornament. So I love this step because you can really personalize it to the color that is fitting to your decor. And what I'm going to do is take some of my vase fillers, cut those in half, and this is going to act like the big sprinkles that you would typically see on a cake pop, and then go in with additional confetti tubes. And last, We're going to take some of that faux snow and press it against quote-unquote icing, and this is going to give the whole ornament a nice sheen. Then I'm going to take some ribbon of my choice of color and make a bow out of that, and what this is going to do is hide the excess glue where the neck of the ornament is meeting the straw, so this is going to work out perfectly. You can leave it as is, or you can add additional embellishments to give it additional detail, which I'm going to do. I absolutely love how the inspiration turned out, and I'm very happy of the products that I chose to go with from the Dollar Tree. These will make such great gifts if you put it in clear plastic wrap with a bow around it and give it to the person of your choice. They're gonna love it. It's handmade, it's very personal. They're gonna love it. For this next project, I'm going to take these Cappuccino Cup cutouts that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it pink. The paint that I will be using is called Mondo Llama, and it came from Target. It is in the color of Peony Petal. All of these projects are very customizable, so you can use any color of paint that you like. This next one, my daughter will be painting it in red, and this is a fun project to do with the kiddos. I'm going to take a disposable bag, prep it with the shell tip again, fill it up with caulk, and follow the indents where the whipped cream topping would be on the cup. This one is fairly easy to do. You want to apply even pressure to the bag and swirl it all the way up to the top of the cup. And there you have a cup with whipped cream topping. Now you want to set this aside and let it dry for about a day or so. And now I'm going to take one of these stencils that I found at the Dollar Tree craft section, cutting out the word joy and sweet. I like to cut out the words because just in case I don't want any of the stencils to poke through the caulk that is drying up. So now I'm going to take some of my white paint and stencil the word joy onto the red cup. I'm going to let the sponge hit a little over the above line of the stencil so it creates a snowy effect on the cup. Set it aside and let it fully dry, and then carefully pull back the stencil, and this is what you have. I'm going to do the same thing to the pink cup, but this time I'm going to be using red paint and a smaller brush to apply the paint. Now this one is not fully dry yet. I'm just going to go ahead and pull back the stencil very carefully just to give you an idea what it looks like. But again, if you're doing this at home, you want to make sure that it is fully dry before you peel it back. After the cups were dry, I proceeded with decorating them. For the red cup, I took some ground cinnamon, sprinkled it onto the whipped cream area, and then took a cinnamon stick, cut it in half, and hot glued it onto the corner. I proceeded in making a few more of these, and I intend to give these out as gifts, so I'm going to personalize them by doing initials. The last cup, I'm going to go ahead and do it in a kawaii style just to give you an idea of what that looks like, and it's the same process. You want to paint it, let it dry, proceed with doing the caulk, and then letting that dry as well before you decorate it all. To make the eyes as round as possible, I took a small ornament which was circular, and I put a felt to it and I started cutting around it. I did this twice to make 2 of the eyes. I then cut out 2 small circles from white felt to make additional details for the eyes. I cut out smaller circles using red felt for the cheeks. For the mouthpiece, I used a slightly larger circular shape to cut it out, and then I cut that in half through the middle. This yielded a semicircle shape. After all the pieces were cut, I then glued them in place. To give her some lashes, I went ahead and drew them in with a Sharpie. Here's a look of how they turned out. I love them all. They're so adorable. These are the perfect gift, especially since you have so many customizable options. Comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite. Next, we're going to make quick and easy donut ornaments, and the nice thing about this is you can also use it in a tier tray. My daughter has a bunch of toys that she no longer plays with because she has an array of kitchen little food items. So I took these out of her old toy bag, and often enough it's as simple as just looking around the house to see what you already have on hand. If just in case you don't have anything of this sort, all you have to do is go to the Dollar Tree, and the toy aisle has a lot of selections you can choose from. And again, I'm using caulk to mimic icing on the donut, and you don't have to be neat about it at all, and that is the best part about this project. I'm taking additional confetti tubes and decking out the donut. I'm also going to take some of the faux snow and press that into the icing to give it additional shine and sheen, which is great, and it comes out in a matter of minutes looking beautiful. Set it aside for it to fully dry. This one is going to take probably about a day to do so. Next, I'm going to take this little chocolate toy that my daughter had and she's no longer using and give it a quick coat of brown paint. I'm going to do the same thing to this ice cream cone. I just want to take the plasticky look away by giving it a coat of acrylic paint. Then I'm going to take the caulk and pipe over the chocolate bar. This is going to make it look like it's white chocolate on milk chocolate. It's also going to add additional dimension and detail. And we're going to do the same to the ice cream and deck it out with additional confetti tubes and faux snow. This is a wonderful project to work with the kiddos, but make sure if you do this with the kiddos, you have a area that is well ventilated, because the caulk could give out some vapors. You just don't want to breathe that in. So make sure you do work in a well ventilated environment. I'm going to take these and make them into ornaments by adding a piece of string on top of them. This was a wonderful way to upcycle unused toys. My daughter was very excited over this, and she took additional toys and started making them her own as well. She really enjoyed the time we spent together. It is also a wonderful way to make memories with the kiddos, since they're involved in the process of making the ornaments, and you can hang it on the tree year after year as a reminder of the way you spent your time together making them. Next up, we're going to do a slice of cake as a dessert option for a tier tray. Here I have a piece of square styrofoam that I picked up from the craft section at Dollar Tree, and what you want to do is ever so carefully cut this into a triangular shape to resemble a slice of cake. Next, we're going to take some lightweight spackle, and this is also found at the Dollar Tree hardware section, and we're going to mix it up with some brown to give it a chocolate effect. You can certainly customize the color as well. You can do pink, red for red velvet for Valentine's Day, or you can do yellow cake, whatever you like to do. It's really up to your preference. During this step, you just want to make sure you don't over dilute the spackle with the paint. I'm going to add a little bit of the black paint just to give it a darker chocolate look. It helps to work in a place where there's nice ventilation when you're working with spackle, because it does have some vapor to it, and it also helps if you use a disposable plate for this project. Once you have achieved your desired color, go ahead and spread the spackle onto the styrofoam just like frosting. It helps to have the styrofoam sitting on a parchment paper once we are done with spreading the spackle, because then when it comes time to lift it off, it will lift easily. Once you are done covering the styrofoam with the spackle, set it aside and let it dry for the next couple of days. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and show you what you need to do for the next couple of steps. Go ahead and drop one of the tips into the piping bag. You can do the shell tip or the star tip. I'm using the shell tip in this footage, but the star tip is much easier to use as well. And fill it up with some caulk and pipe some borders onto the spackle. Make sure it is completely dry, because otherwise it will drag down the design. Make sure you clean the tip as you go, otherwise the caulk will clog up the tip and you will lose the details in the process. To pipe the shells, you want to flick your wrist up and then at an angle coming down, and continue the process, and you will have a border line of shells. You can also do the star tip if you like. For this, it's completely up to you, whatever you feel more comfortable with. The star tip is actually much easier to use, so if you want to start piping with that, that's perfectly fine as well. Now, using the same tip, I'm going to go ahead and do a line in the middle on both of the sides of the cake, and this is going to act like the buttercream sandwich between the two layers. The more details you put on the cake, the better it's gonna look. Next, I'm going to make a raspberry out of this Model Magic self-drying clay that I found at the kids craft section at the Dollar Tree. This stuff is great. You leave it out, it's gonna dry the way you leave it, and it's very easy to work with as well. It doesn't get all over your fingers, so I love this stuff. What you want to do is roll it in the shape of a teardrop. I'm going to make it slightly thicker because then I'm going to take the fondant tools that I got from Dollar Tree and create indents in the raspberry to mimic the seeds. I'm going to place it onto one of the tools and then shape it a little bit. Then I'm going to take the rounded end tools, and with the smaller round end tip, I'm going to press it into the raspberry to create the indents. You want to do this all around the raspberry so that you cover it completely. Once we are done, we're going to prop it up onto the top of the cake, and you can definitely use some hot glue gun to attach it if your spatula is dry, and you can also use some caulk to create a whipped cream design on the top before you put in the raspberry. And here is the final look. I love how this came out. I nestled it into the tree and it looks wonderful. You can also use it on a tier tray. I hope you all enjoy this video, and hopefully it has inspired you to do one of these DIY projects for yourself. Comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite project. And also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, share this video with a family or a friend, and hit the like button. All these actions will help to support the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you back again soon.